Ancient origins. The first Australians. Australia, a land of vast deserts, rugged mountains, and lush rainforests. But who were the first people to call this ancient land home? The story begins thousands of years ago. People journeyed from Southeast Asia. They crossed the seas and arrived on Australian shores. These first Australians are the ancestors of today's Aboriginal people. These skilled navigators and hunters adapted to the diverse environments. They spread across the continent. They created distinct cultures and languages. Over time, they formed a deep spiritual connection to the land. Their story is an integral part of understanding Australia's history. A culture rich and deep. Aboriginal life before European contact. Imagine a life intertwined with nature. For the Aboriginal Australians, this was not just a way of life, but a profound connection that spanned thousands of years. Their existence was deeply rooted in the land, the flora, and the fauna, creating a harmonious balance that sustained them for millennia. This was the reality for Aboriginal Australians for millennia. They lived in close-knit communities where every member had a role to play. From the youngest child to the eldest elder, everyone contributed to the well-being of the group. They were not just nomads, they had a deep understanding of the land and its resources. They moved with the seasons, following the natural cycles of the environment, ensuring that they never depleted the resources they relied on. They were skilled farmers, fishers, and hunters. Their knowledge of the land and its resources was unparalleled. They knew which plants were edible, which had medicinal properties, and how to hunt and fish sustainably. They managed the land using fire. This practice, known as fire stick farming, involved controlled burns to clear underbrush, promote new growth, and prevent larger uncontrolled wildfires. It was a sophisticated form of land management that demonstrated their deep understanding of the environment. They understood the cycles of nature. They knew when to harvest certain plants, when to hunt specific animals, and how to read the signs of the changing seasons. This knowledge was crucial for their survival and was passed down through generations. Elders played a crucial role in educating the young, sharing stories, songs, and teachings that contained valuable information about their culture, history, and the natural world. Their culture was expressed through art, song, and dance. These forms of expression were not just for entertainment, but were deeply spiritual and held significant meaning. They were a way to connect with their ancestors, the land, and the Dreamtime. Their rock art tells stories of their ancestors and the Dreamtime. These ancient artworks are a testament to their rich cultural heritage and provide a glimpse into their spiritual beliefs and practices. The Dreamtime is the foundation of their beliefs. It is a complex and intricate system of stories, songs, and rituals that explain the creation of the world, the origins of their people, and the laws that govern their society. It explains the creation of the world and the interconnectedness of all things. The Dreamtime stories are a way to understand their place in the world and their relationship with the land, the animals, and each other. Their culture is a testament to their resilience and deep spiritual connection to the land. Despite the challenges they have faced, Aboriginal Australians have maintained their cultural identity and continue to pass on their knowledge and traditions to future generations. Across the seas, early European encounters with Australia. The year 1606 marked a turning point. A Dutch explorer, Willem Janszoon, landed on the western coast of Cape York Peninsula. He was the first documented European to reach Australia. Other European explorers followed. They charted the coastline. They called the land New Holland. However, these early encounters did not lead to immediate colonization. The Europeans saw the land as harsh and unforgiving. They did not understand the complex societies that already existed there. Little did they know their arrival would forever change the course of Australia's history. A new beginning, a culture disrupted British colonization and its impact. The year 1770 marked a significant turning point in the history of Australia. Captain James Cook, a British explorer, charted the east coast of Australia. His journey was one of discovery and ambition, driven by the desire to expand the British Empire. He claimed it for the British Crown, a moment that would forever alter the course of the continent's history. This act of claiming the land was not just a symbolic gesture, but a declaration of British intent to colonize and control. This event had profound consequences, setting the stage for a series of transformations that would reshape the land and its people. The British colonization brought with it new systems of governance, land ownership, and societal structures. In 1788, the first fleet arrived at Botany Bay. This fleet, consisting of 11 ships, carried convicts, marines and officers, marking the beginning of a new era. It carried convicts and settlers from Britain who were to establish the first European colony on the Australian continent. These early settlers faced numerous challenges, from harsh environmental conditions to limited resources. This marked the beginning of British colonization, a process that would expand rapidly over the following decades. Settlements began to spread, and the British influence grew stronger, altering the landscape and the lives of those who lived there. The arrival of the British had a devastating impact on Aboriginal Australians. Their land, which they had inhabited for tens of thousands of years, was taken from them, leading to widespread displacement and suffering. They were dispossessed of their land, their homes, and their way of life. The British colonization disrupted the traditional practices and social structures of the Aboriginal communities. They faced violence and disease brought by the new settlers. These diseases, to which the Aboriginal people had no immunity, decimated their populations, causing untold suffering and loss. Their traditional way of life was disrupted as the British imposed their own systems and structures. The cultural heritage of the Aboriginal Australians was severely impacted, with many traditions and practices being lost or altered. This period is a dark chapter in Australian history, a time of great upheaval and change. The consequences of colonization are still felt today, as Australia continues to grapple with its colonial past. It is a reminder of the consequences of colonization and the importance of reconciliation. Efforts to acknowledge and address the impacts of this period are ongoing as Australia seeks to heal and move forward. Section 5. The lure of gold transformation and tumult in the 19th century. Gold. The discovery of gold in the 1850s changed everything. People from all over the world flocked to Australia. They dreamt of striking it rich. This gold rush transformed Australia. It spurred economic growth. It led to the development of cities like Melbourne and Sydney. However, the gold rush also had a dark side. It intensified conflicts over land with Aboriginal people. It led to discrimination against immigrants, especially the Chinese. The gold rush was a period of both progress and turmoil. It shaped the social and economic fabric of the nation. Section 6. Towards Unity, the Birth of a Nation. The Path to Federation. By the late 19th century, Australia was a collection of 6 separate British colonies. Each colony had its own government. However, there was a growing sense of unity. People began to see themselves as Australians. They desired a united nation. This led to a series of discussions and debates. Finally, on the 1st of January 1901, the 6 colonies united. They formed the Commonwealth of Australia. This was a momentous occasion. It marked the birth of a new nation. It paved the way for a new era in Australian history. Section 7. Finding a place on the world stage, Australia in the 20th century. The 20th century was a time of great change and upheaval for the world. Australia, as a young nation, found itself caught up in these global events. The 2 world wars saw Australians fighting on foreign soil. They demonstrated their loyalty to the British Empire. They forged a new national identity. After World War II, Australia experienced a wave of immigration. People from war-torn Europe and elsewhere arrived seeking a new life. This influx of migrants transformed Australian society. It made it more diverse and multicultural. Section 8. Beyond the Outback. A nation transformed in the late 20th century. The latter half of the 20th century saw Australia undergo a period of significant social and cultural change. The White Australia policy, which had restricted immigration from non-European countries, was dismantled. This paved the way for a more multicultural Australia. Australians also grappled with their past treatment of Aboriginal people. Land rights movements gained momentum. There was a growing recognition of the need for reconciliation. Australia was becoming a more inclusive and equitable society. Section 9. A Tapestry of Cultures, Modern Australia's Multicultural Identity. Today, Australia is a vibrant, multicultural nation. People from all over the world call Australia home. They have brought their traditions, languages, and cuisines. This has enriched Australian culture. It has created a unique blend of old and new. This multiculturalism is celebrated in Australia. It is a source of strength and dynamism. It is a testament to Australia's journey from a colonial outpost to a diverse and inclusive nation. Section 10. Balancing the past, embracing the future. Australia today. Australia today is a nation still grappling with its past. The rich and ancient culture of the Aboriginal people, which dates back over 60,000 years, stands in stark contrast to the relatively recent history of European colonization. This juxtaposition creates a complex narrative that Australia continues to navigate. The legacy of colonization continues to affect Aboriginal Australians. The impact of these historical events is still felt today, manifesting in social, economic, and health disparities. Indigenous communities often face challenges that are deeply rooted in this colonial past, including loss of land, culture, and autonomy. However, there is a growing commitment to reconciliation. Efforts to bridge the gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians are gaining momentum. Initiatives such as National Reconciliation Week and the Uluru Statement from the Heart are pivotal in fostering understanding and unity. There is a desire to build a future where all Australians feel a sense of belonging. Australia's multicultural society is one of its greatest strengths, with people from all over the world calling this nation home. This diversity enriches the cultural fabric of the country and promotes a more inclusive and harmonious society. Australia faces many challenges in the 21st century. Climate change, economic inequality, and social cohesion are just a few. The devastating bushfires of recent years have highlighted the urgent need for action on climate change, while economic disparities continue to create divisions within society. Social movements and community gatherings are addressing these issues head-on. From grassroots organizations to national campaigns, Australians are coming together to advocate for change and to support one another in times of need. However, Australia has a strong democratic tradition. The nation's political system allows for robust debate and the opportunity for citizens to have their voices heard. This democratic foundation is crucial in navigating the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. It has a resilient spirit. The Australian people have shown time and again their ability to come together in the face of adversity. Whether it's through natural disasters or economic hardships, the sense of community and solidarity is a defining characteristic of the Australian identity. It has a history of overcoming adversity. From the trials of World War II to the economic challenges of the 20th and 21st centuries, Australia has demonstrated a remarkable capacity for resilience and recovery. These experiences have shaped the nation's character and continue to inspire its people. As Australia looks to the future, it does so with a sense of hope and a commitment to creating a better tomorrow for all its citizens. The nation's journey is one of balancing the past with the promise of the future, striving to build a society that honors its history while embracing progress and inclusivity. Thanks you for joining us to learn about the history of Australia. Please don't forget to subscribe and share this video about Australia's fascinating history. Bye for now.